This is the USSR. He was a real liberator hero, the most well-read and educated country, and even the first nation to fly into space. After his death, he distributed all his legacy to 15 children. But in addition to property, there were debts. Russia was the eldest kid. That's why she took all debts upon itself, and Russia promised to protect her brothers and help with economics. So, in 1991, officially the history of new states began, and today we are talking about Russia and Ukraine after USSR. From the USSR, Ukraine received a huge army and the third nuclear potential in the world. Listen, Russia, how to use it? Hey, just as written in the instruction, do it. Hey, everything in Russian? We need a deal. I give you all nuclear weapon and you protect me. You give me some money and give me some sale for gas. Okay, we're brothers. But don't forget who is your family. And one condition, I hate traitors. So they signed Budapest Memorandum. Can I take the change from the sale of gas to the Europeans? I'll pretend I didn't see. Since if a Russian loves Russia, he's a patriot. If a Ukrainian loves Ukraine, he's a horrible Bandera nationalist. In 2003, Russia began building a dam toward island Tuzla, which belonged to Ukraine. The main goal was to get a navigable channel, but this changed the borders of Ukraine. As a result, the president agreed that each received his own profit. Putin took the channel and Ukraine got freedom of the Russian military on the Maidan. Since if the Russian government does not agree with the Ukrainian government, it defends their national interests. If the Ukrainian government does not agree with the Russian government, they're f***ing crazy. 2004, the Orange Revolution. Hey guys, this is Victor. He will make your life better, gas will be cheaper and life more stable. The majority voted for Yanukovych, but then George Bush came and proposed re-election. The Orange Revolution began. The part that voted for Yushchenko, the minority, took the squares demanding re-election. So, the Europe candidate Yushchenko became a president and started the way of Euro integration. Since, if a Russian rally, he defends his interest. If a Ukrainian rally, he works off the American money paid to him for anti-Russian purposes. Every winter there was a conflict over gas, so Europe was trembling. First, they're scared. Second, it's cold. And in general, Europe does not know what can be expected from Russia and Ukraine. While Viktor Yushchenko was in power, the Russian Federation twice blocked Ukraine gas wealth in 2006 and 2009, which led to interruption in transit supplies to Europe. Now I want to tell you about the situation that became the starting point of war. In 2008, George Bush said, I think we should take Ukraine and Georgia into NATO. France and Germany say, no, you crazy. Ukraine and Georgia were promised membership without a date. After that, Georgia received a 5-day war. Yushchenko continued his way to Europe. Since if the Russian president communicates with the American president, he is building relations between two great countries. If the Ukrainian president communicates with American president, they are both waving an anti-Russian conspiracy. 2010, Yanukovych won the elections and relations between the countries warmed up. In 2013, the Russian Federation asked Yanukovych to stop integrating into Europe, which he did.
Остановитесь!
You asshole.
Terrible protest began. It was very dangerous. In 2014, Yanukovych ran off to Russia. Next, Russia spent referendum in Crimea, and Crimea made decision to be a part of Russia. Well, guys, what do you think about becoming a part of stable, strong and great Russia? Silent means consent. That's fact that majority of Crimean people really wanted of being a part of Russia. Putin began invest money and Ukrainian cut off the fresh water. At the same time, also Donetsk and Lugansk, the majority of people wanted a close relations with Russia. Putin once made some operation in Donbass, but it didn't work out. Since then, there have been constant battles in this territory, and the richest region of Ukraine has become the poorest and most unstable territory. Thousands of people died, including kids and civilians. Ukraine needs someone who solves their problems. A fat oligarch, the owner of a chocolate factory and several TV channels, Pyotr Poroshenko came. Mr. Putin, I understand everything. The relation between our countries have cooled, but I'm ready to add some paper to them. He decided to change the status of Russian language. He promised to sell his own factory, restricted the Russian language in school, restricted the Russian language on TV. He took one of Putin's enemies, Saakashvili, and made him the governor of Odessa. He introduced into the constitution the goal of Ukraine to join NATO, and the main military goal is to return Crimea at any cost. He cut GDP by 80 billions, he reduced the population by 3 millions, he closed Russian social network VKontakte, Yandex and Odnoklassniki. He canceled one of celebration from USSR and introduced the celebration of founding the nationalist Bandera army. Since if Russian speak Russian, he is simply Russian. If Ukrainian speaks Ukrainian, he is unfinished Bandera nationalist. Hey, how is it going in Ukraine? In the next election, he lost to the actor and comedian Zelensky, who played the role of the great president perfectly. He jokes great and shoots very emotional congratulation from New Year and video on his Instagram. On the part of Russia, there was an understanding that Zelensky is the person who will establish mutual understanding with neighbors, stop the war and think about the bright future of Ukraine. In fact, the policy became even more Western. The war in the Donbass was not stopped, people continued to die, and the rhetoric was anti-Russian. He said that USSR and the Hitler, Nazi Germany were the same. Since if the Russian president declares pro-Russian slogans, that's a normal president. If president of Ukraine declares pro-Ukrainian slogans, he's a pro-American and anti-Russian president. Hello, Mr. Putin. We see thousands of troops heading toward the borders of Ukraine. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey guys, they can see us. Go out, go out. Autumn 2021. Hello, Mr. Putin. We again see your army near Ukraine borders. No, guys, no, it's not true. Hey, Shoigu, go out. They see us. Go out, Shoigu. Hello, Mr. Putin. We need to talk. We are concerned that you have army near borders with Ukraine. You know, Biden, we just have an education in our territory. We know some facts when you do the same. Mr. Putin, CIA know that you prepare invasion. No, they are our brothers who want to leave us. What? No, nothing. Mr. Putin, we need a deal. Of course, Mr. Biden. If we sign a document that Crimea is officially part of Russian Federation and Ukraine will never join NATO, we make education somewhere else. The negotiation finished by nothing. In February 2022, Russia recognized the independence of DNR and LNR in the Ukrainian borders, larger then controlled. After that, Putin started invasion, the so-called special military operation against Ukraine, because he wanted that people live better in Ukraine. So West countries began a special economic operation to destroy it in Russian Federation, because they want that Russian people lives better. Residents of one country run off from the horrors of war, and residents of another country from the horrors of future bullshit life. Crazy sanction attack Russian people and Russian economics. Crazy weapon attack Ukrainian people. At the time of the realized video, Putin and Zelensky, the presidents of the countries, have not come to understanding. The Russian economy is collapsing, the Ukraine is suffering terrible destruction from the war. But in California and the other Western countries, it's okay.